I analyzed the last 3 years of SATs. And today, I'm showing you 8 questions I genuinely believe have the highest chance of showing up. Let's start with the first one. A right circular cylinder has a volume of 30 cubic centimeters. So what happens if we triple the radius and shrink the height to 1/3? So what's the new volume? Lock in your answer. 3, 2, 1. Now here's exactly how you solve this question. Volume of a cylinder is just PR squared H. If you triple the radius, that R squared becomes 9 times bigger, but the height gets shrunk to 1/3. So the total volume gets multiplied by 9 times a third. So 30 times 3, that's 90 cubic centimeters. So our answer is 90. Prediction number 2. Prediction number 2 is even trickier. So keep watching this video in full screen. A cylindric jar is filled with dried berries, then topped off with juice before being sealed. So the base area is 72 centimeters squared and the height is 9 centimeters. 150 centimeters squares of juice fills the rest. So how much space do the berries actually take? So now it's time to lock in your answer. 3, 2, 1. Total volume of a cylinder is base area multiplied by height, and that's super simple. So total jar volume is 72 multiplied by 9. That's 648 centimeter cubes. To get the berries volume, just subtract the juice. 648 minus 150, which gives 498 centimeters cubes. That's your answer. Prediction number 3. Trust me, you don't want to skip it because this one is really wild. And it's low-key one of the most confusing questions on the SAT. But when you see the trick, you're gonna feel like your brain just leveled up. Which expression is equivalent to b 7/8? So now it's time to solve this prediction question. 3, 2, 1. So b in the power of 7/8 means root of 8 and power of 7. Root is the bottom number and power is a top number. But here's the crazy part. In order to find the correct answer choice, if we look at the choices, none of them have this. But what if we multiply both the top and the bottom by 8? 7 multiplied by 8 equals 56. 8 multiplied by 8 equals 64. So now it becomes b in the power of 56/64, which is exactly the same as the 64th root of b in the square root of 56. If you want to know your actual SAT math level without grinding it through 44 questions, I got you. I dropped 100% free SAT mini test. Just 20 questions. You'll see the question right here and timer up top. And if you hit draw, you can literally sketch stuff out with a pen, highlighter, or even a marker. Whatever fits your vibe. Plus, you can track your progress as you go, and it tells you instantly if you got it right or cooked it. And the best part? You can get your SAT score and clear next steps to level up. And it's completely free. Go try it out. Prediction number 4. This one looks very easy, but the SAT loves to sneak in tiny traps. We have 2 points, 1 line, and 1 mystery constant. And if you miss it, you might completely fail your test. And the question is, what is K? So now it's time to solve this question. 3, 2, 1. First, calculate the slope from the points -3, -4, and 1 and 2. So now let's convert equation to slope form. So 2y plus 3kx equals 10. From here, y equals -k/2 x plus 5. So slope here is negative k over 2. And that's where SAT logic happens. So let's set minus k over 2 to 3 over 2. And from here we get k equals negative 3. And there it is. The only value of k that makes this line pass through both points is k equals negative 3. This one looks super chill, and it's about green roofs. But don't get fooled, because the SAT loves to hide tricky words in these sorts of passages that make you second guess yourself. So now is the time to solve this prediction question. 3, 2, 1. So urban ecologist Dr. Semeni Alvarez argues that green roofs, gardens installed on top of buildings are, despite high installation costs and structural requirements, gradually increasing the sustainability of cities. Technological innovations in lightweight, solar and modular systems have enhanced the feasibility of these roofs to basic environmental functions such as reducing heat and managing stormwater. Nevertheless, more complex benefits like significantly improving air quality or promoting biodiversity often depend on larger scale, carefully maintained installations. And the question is, what does this passage most directly suggest about green roofs? So notice the word nevertheless in the passage. That's a major SAT clue. It tells you the complex benefits are not guarantees. So choice A, they have become more practical for basic urban functions, but remain limited in supporting broader ecological goals. It sounds true. So now let's look at choice B. Widely adopted due to cost effectiveness. Text mentions high costs, but not cost effectiveness though, so that's why B is wrong. Choice C, increasingly accessible but inconsistent. Well, it's too vague, so C is wrong. Choice D, embraced by developers but ignored by public. Well, it's not even mentioned in the passage at all, so D is wrong. So only choice A matches exactly what the passage directly says. So the question says, the measure of angle y is 60 degrees. What's the measure in radians of angle y? Now, here's what you need to know. Degrees and radians are just two different ways to measure an angle. And there is one simple rule that connects them. To convert degrees into radians, you always multiply by p over 180. Why? Because 180 degrees equals pi radians. That's the key facts that you gotta remember. So let's use it here. We've got 60 degrees multiplied by p over 180. So that's 60 divided by 180 is 1 over 3. So the answer is pi over 3. And that's it. So the correct answer is choice B. Scientific question. This passage sort of sounds kind of scientific, and they're talking about scientists, global deforestation, and forest definitions. But don't get intimidated. Let's go through piece by piece. So it's a scientist studying global deforestation are having trouble because different countries use different rules for what counts as a forest. So some define it based on tree coverage, others based on land size. An example of that is Norway says if you've got 10% tree cover, that's a forest. Brazil is like, nah, we need 30% tree cover. And some countries use both vegetation and land use. Then the passage ends with, this inconsistency makes it really hard for scientists to compare global deforestation. Okay, so now our summary is different countries have different definitions, so scientists can't compare stuff easily. So that's literally it. Now let's go through the choices. Scientists find it so simple to compare deforestation when all countries use the same definition. Well, yeah, that would be nice, but the whole point is that they don't have the same definition, so A is just wrong. Choice B. Despite differences in definition, scientists typically define forests as 30% or more tree coverage. If your SAT score has been stuck no matter how much you study, it's not your fault. You're just using the wrong system. Well, many students grind random questions they find, memorize formulas, and pray reading goes well. But top scorers don't do that. They follow patterns and they use prediction data and they train with systems. And that's exactly what I'm teaching in my 3-day SAT Accelerator. It's 3 days where I give you the exact strategies 1500 plus scorers use. And the crazy part, if you want to boost your SAT score fast and go into the exam with actual confidence instead of vibes, hit the link in the description and save your spot. Nope, that 30% thing was only for Brazil, and the passage never said scientists use that rule globally. Choice C. It's difficult for scientists to compare global deforestation because countries define forests in different ways. That's literally our summary. That's the main idea. Choice D. Scientists ignore local definitions in Norway. What? That's just a random sentence someone made up, so it's wrong. So yeah, choice C is the answer. Prediction number 3, the line question. So here's our plan. To find the equation of a line, you just need to know 2 things, the slope and the y-intercept. Let's start with the easy part, the y-intercept. So let's look at the point when x is 0, y equals -4. That means the line crosses the y-axis at -4. So if you already know, the equation is gonna be something like y equals something x minus 4. Now let's find the something part, which is the slope here. The formula for slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So plug in the points that we have in the question. So that would be m equals 2 minus -4 divided by 2 minus 0. So that would be 2 plus 4 over 2, 6 over 2 equals 3. So the slope here is 3 and the y-intercept is -4. Y equals 3x minus 4. That's choice B. Prediction number 4, pattern question. The sentence is comparing 2 actions, what area students do and what regular students do. The first part says students start practicing pieces by Mozart as easily as age 4. So the structure is start practicing, and that's verb plus ing form, and that's the pattern here. Now the second part should match that same pattern because it's the same type of idea, same tense and same kind of verb. So it should be, while students in conventional programs usually only begin practicing such works at the age of 6. So now let's look at the answer choices. Well, choice D here is exactly what we wrote, begin practicing, which is clean, parallel, and perfect. So yeah, D is the correct answer here. Prediction number 5, stats question. So now let's talk about this SAT stats question. A juice company says their bottles have 2 liters on average. Maya grabs 50 bottles, measures them, and finds that the average is 2.08 liters. But there is a margin of error of 0.04 liters. Now they ask, for all bottles, what's the most appropriate conclusion about the average volume? V. So the margin of error basically means your result. 2.08 could be off a little bit in either direction. So we take the estimate plus or minus the margin of error. And that's the rule. Mean plus or minus margin of error. So 2.08 minus 0.04 equals 2.04. And 2.08 plus 0.04 equals 2.12. And that gives us 2.04 and 2.12. And that's exactly choice A in 10 seconds. So make sure to watch this video where I showed you exactly how to use the Desmos calculator.